Pixel art games seem to never really go out of style because there's always somebody like us to appreciate the graphics. Be it some good old RPG nostalgia, hack and slash, run and gun shooting, farming games, well, they're all great. Today on Mobo Game Zone, I'm about to show you guys the top 10 most anticipated upcoming pixel art games on the way to Android and iOS devices as well.
Does it feel to breathe when you're dead? They never seen you.
Every hero has a goal, a quest, a final destination.
And number 1, from earlier June this year, in case you've missed out on the news, we've got over here Moonlighter, an action RPG with roguelite elements, just plainly following the everyday routines of an adventurous shopkeeper's life. Moonlighter is just a nice little, very cute roguelike with a pretty short story and the kind of action that does become a little bit repetitive at some point. In case you're wondering why we've got Moonlighter at number 1 here, it's because this game's on its way to mobile devices globally by the end of the year, introducing new content and even a controller support.
But some of us keep on dreaming. Facing new challenges. Working hard. Making sacrifices. Doing everything to finally achieve our dreams. Just to realize
coming up behind that, we've got Cats and the Other Lives from earlier this year as a PC exclusive. Guys, the good news is that the game is now being ported to mobile devices, iOS first, and releasing around holidays this year. Here, just in case you're wondering, you do play as a cat that mainly uncovers some really long buried family secrets about some murder. The game comes with a heavy focus on story rather than the gameplay, and I would say if you do like pixel art detective noir stuff, this is perhaps, believe it or not, your best bet. And number 3, I've said it before, technically this is still under active development and possibly releasing in about a few months from now. Guys, from a couple of months ago, we've got over here at number 3 something called Sword of Convallaria. This is, without a single doubt, just probably the best looking pixel art tactics-based action RPG I've seen for a few years. When it comes to mobile devices specifically, this is in-game footage. All we do know that it'll be a free-to-play game and at some point releasing on Android devices as well.
そういう作品をどういう風に作っていったらいいかっていうのが、まあちょっと一瞬わからなくなったりとかしたんですけど、まあそれでも
At number 4, we've got, first off, let me just say, although it's been already released for PCs a few months ago, however, in case you're wondering, an action-adventure role-playing game called Mutation M. Simply just a pretty unique mix of pixelated 2D, 3D graphics, and as you can see, in a distant, cyberpunkish, futuristic world, and a hack-and-slasher. The game comes with an amazing soundtrack, some synth, sick soundtrack, a pretty good combat, and a decent story on top. All we do know is that it is coming to mobile devices sometime next year. Hopefully we'll get a specific release date by the end of 2022. sitting on Steam with a 10 out of 10 review score as the second main title from the game to the moon, which is just a story-rich pixel art game from Freebird Games, the same studio over here. We've got over here at number 5, Finding Paradise. This is the single most mind-blowing story-focused game on Steam, technically speaking the best of its kind for the past 10 years. The good news is that the game is now available on the Google Play Store for about $3 and also rumored to be going free in about a few months from now. So keep it in mind. Now, Airship Nights from earlier October this year, on the other hand, is actually sitting on the Play Store ready for pre-register and stated to come out in about a month from now. This is a arcane punk pixel art semi-open world action RPG flying game, as stated by developers, and actually one of the most nostalgic games in the making, gameplay and story-wise. It's like somewhere between the old Chrono, Dragon Quest, and even the old Final Fantasy games. Check it out in case you missed it, cause we just got a new trailer for it too. Next up at number 7, we've got Tales Weaver, second run. This is actually one of the oldest pixel art MMORPGs on TapTap by the Korean developers Nexon, and sitting there on the Play Store in Korea with a perfect 5 out of 5 review score. I don't really think there's much to talk about with this one except that Tales Weaver is in development for Western regions, actually worldwide, and said to be coming out early to mid next year. Check it out in case you missed it. Coming up behind that from roughly 7 years ago by NC Soft, the Korean developers, we've got over here once again, finally, Trickster M. This is a MMORPG mobile port based on the famous PC online game Trickster. This is the original game itself and added new features such as a bigger battlefield, new PvP game modes, and new community systems. Check it out. Game's available to play in Korea only and set to be released worldwide with English support, of course, early next year. In case you missed out on the news, we just came across a new trailer on NeoWiz's long awaited Brown Dust 2, a mobile RPG sequel that's been in the works since probably 3 years ago. Brown Dust 1, though, if you're just looking for it, is now rebranded as Brave 9, so will probably the sequel over here, but in any case, this is how the game really looks and it's rumored to be coming out in about a few months from now. Take a look.
僕らが待っていたその次の物語へブラウンダスト2
And last but not least, we've got once again Neon Abyss Infinite, the mobile port of one of the just most famous pixel art games of all time, which is technically just a mix of The Binding of Isaac and Terraria. Guys, Neon Abyss is, as you can see, a roguelite and a multiplayer game, partly though very well made in nature, and now finally on its way to mobile devices, Android and iOS devices, both sometime later this year.